Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Take Two. This is actually a really fun one for me because I'm going to get to know the man behind the Oracle ACE program, right? They say the wizard behind the curtain. So I've known Gerald for many, many years, but I actually know very little about him, including when I got his title wrong when I was speaking to my producer saying, yeah, I think he's like the head of database strategy or something like that. And Gerald's like, yeah, that was, in the 90s. So, Gerald, welcome. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your new role, your position at Oracle, and a little bit about yourself?
Thank you very much, Mia, for having me on the show, first and foremost. Yeah, I'm Gerald. I am humbly a database product manager, but over the years at Oracle, I've started out as a overall database product manager. So one of those product managers that work with the feature product managers or product managers of specific areas and work on a cohesive product, align on strategy, align on roadmap, make sure that certain features that have to work together come out together and stuff like that. And that has ever since involved. I'm sort of still have a product management role lately on AI and developer initiatives. Lately with AI initiatives, I had it for developer initiatives for a while. So a lot of when it was still called 23C things we did for developers, like SQL enhancements and so forth. A lot of my folks and me were behind the scenes of those. And lately we have added AI, but I'm also doing completely unrelated product management stuff or additional product management stuff, like I'm heading up the ACE program, as you said. And I'm also heading up the user group liaison group for the Oracle database development org. So we have in my team that's basically the liaison for user groups for anything Oracle database that related from development.
So how many hours are in your day?
The goal is always like to have more capable people below you than yourself, right? Your job is easy, right? So I have a lot of hours in my day of great people.
I'm only heading up like 4 things that used to all have their own owner, right? They all used to have their own executive budget.
It has somewhat been consolidated. That's not even everything. It's
oh my God.
The database and education program lately that I got last fall. So, but
wow.
So
actually, the database, like I was saying, the Oracle ACE program and the user group community, I remember when like Mary Lou used to be in charge of one of them, right? But basically, how has it evolved over the years? Like from, like we said, it used to be kind of like a community of, if 4 people who were aces knew who you were and had read your blog, you became an ace or an ace director, to now, really tight, calculations and algorithms to figure out if you're an ace and criteria and everything. So
you make it sound bad. No, but
no.
No. So the ACE program we actually just found out last year. Last year was our 20th anniversary. The ACE program started in 2005. Of course, unfortunately, these people that started the program have long left Oracle, but we actually still had contacts. Or I still have contacts with the lady that started it, and she told me that in 2005 it started as a middleware evangelism program. So middleware was brand sort of like hype in the mid 2000s, right? And I wouldn't say brand new, but was certainly up and coming. And that actually
we had a big competition. What happened in those days? I was working for Oracle. There was a big Java versus .NET worldwide thing where you'd go into a meeting. And they'd say, oh, the database, of course the database is going to be Oracle. But why shouldn't we do .NET? And you had this whole fight of Java versus .NET worldwide, where like everybody, Oracle was a given, right? Nobody needed to evangelize Oracle. Everyone knew Oracle database was the best. But the middleware was like a fight for your life, right?
Absolutely, right. And then the whole stack that came out of it, like the was called back then J2EE stack with WebLogic, right? But back then, like oddly enough, we don't have too many records of that area anymore. But I know that the lady has told me, I started it in 2005. It from that point on evolved quite significantly. So 2005, if you think about it, like we forget that, what life was 20 years ago, right? The internet was by far not as wide scale, right?
They barely had Gmail to look up the questions, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So back then it was mostly, at its essence, it's still the same, right? It's like a group of external advocates that basically talk good about Oracle technology, that evangelize about Oracle technology.
Right.
Mostly of those were people that were either customers, partners, or using Oracle technology during their day life, their day job. But back then, the method itself was also very much like it was like a work for life thing. So once you were in, you were in, you were it. There was no levels, nothing. It's like you were an Oracle I think back then actually it was like you were an Oracle ACE director. I think that was the original title that there was. And in order to get in, as you said before, it's like only another ACE could actually nominate you and get you in. So it was sort of like a
friend brings a friend.
Yeah, buddy program, exactly, right. And again, if you go back in the mid 2000s, this was nothing extraordinary, frankly, right? There were a couple of these initiatives from different companies and even different communities. You mentioned .NET and Java, like even Java Champions today has still a similar thing of like only a Java champion can nominate another Java champion. And it's like fine. It's that changed though then in about 2012, 13. It opened up, so levels were introduced, right? So we had then
that was levels. 1 year after I became an ACE director. Lucky
there we go. Yeah, so then you probably know the date actually better than me.
In 2013. My ACE director.
Right. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you, of course. But so levels were introduced, right? And levels were really, or the first hint at levels we kind of have now 4 as we get to it when we talk a bit further. But levels were really introduced back then to also sort of make it a bit fair for the amount of effort that's put in. There is people who put a lot of effort in. There's people who don't put a lot of effort or not as much effort in. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like we had over the years, you see things like people become parents and they go like, well, it's like I have a family now to take care of. I have a bit less time to blog about Oracle stuff or so forth. Or maybe that job situation changed or like something else happens. And in general, every contribution to the community, as we call it, like you evangelizing Oracle is a good thing, right? But we also understand that, somebody who is maybe, writing, I don't know, like 50 or 100 blogs a year may wants to see this a little bit different than somebody who's just doing like, 15 or 20 blogs, right? There has to be a little bit of a difference to appreciate also the level of engagement. And again,
but also the quality, right? So one thing that I noticed in the evolution of the ACE program, like you mentioned, it's evangelist. I saw it even more than that. Like I started as an Oracle Forms. I'm still in Oracle Forms ACE. I will not let go of Oracle Forms, even though there's no more product manager to this.
Yeah, you are it now, basically.
But the fact that I'm it is I take that job very seriously, right?
Yeah.
So it's not only evangelism, it's like making content, right? Like I write help guides, I write install guides, I write, multi-language bugs that we find. I do webinars to the community about how they can attach forms with AI, right? So it's beyond. It's not like I'm not there with pom-poms like, hey, I love Oracle, wow, wow, wow. But it really became something that like to augment, right? You can't have Oracle has 10 million products. You can't have people writing content for the amount of content and the amount of blogs and things you need on Google and things for the support sites and et cetera, et cetera. So you have, I see myself as backup, right? Like to help augment a lot of the materials to help Oracle, help my community, right? EBS, people on EBS, how they go to cloud, to do AI, to do automation, to do character recognition, whatever it may be. So that's why I say I take my people into the future. That's where I see my goal. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you raise a great point that I haven't gotten to yet. It's like it started out mostly around blogging, right? But it's by long shot not that anymore, right? Again, like in 2005, there was no YouTube. There were actually still a lot of conferences, or there are, probably more conferencing actually now than there is now, because
Yeah.
we didn't have all these technologies over the internet.
It's all digital.
Right, writing books and all this good stuff. So there's a lot of contribution types. But in 2012 we introduced the second level, and then in 2000, I would think it was 16, we also started actually measuring the amount of contributions, and like that really, like we put in a point system, and you can really think of it like as a frequent flyer system. Like we saw that back then, and like 10 years in, 11 years in, we had still aces that were no longer doing Oracle related stuff, because their life has changed, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, they went to another company, some even went to competitors of Oracle, and they still were running around as like, yeah, I'm an ace director. And we were like, well, it's kind of, this for life thing is also not fair, right? Just because you wrote a lot of blog posts one year and you managed to get in doesn't mean, like 30 years later, you should still be able to run around with it.
Right.
And so the Smile system was introduced. And by the way, this was all before my time, right? I only got the ACE program in 2021, I think. But the Smile system was introduced, or point system. And, it's just like a way to track activity, right? And it's like, we just want to, they're like every contribution, as long as it, is about Oracle technology, is valuable. Doesn't matter whether it's a blog post or it's like, a brief time when retweeting was very, very popular, right? Or you go to a conference, or even like, as you said, it's like you actually, like, in a meeting with somebody who is considered an Oracle customer or partner, and even evangelize on their behalf. And that evangelism is not necessarily to say pom-poms and, yeah, you should use this, but maybe even just advise how to use the technology. And even like, as we have a lot with, I know also with you, give feedback to Oracle, right? So there's a lot of these contributions, and
it's not always appreciated, right? You're like, what feature you're missing? This one.
Yeah. Both sides, right? It's like, I can also see aces like, hey, you gave me this software, and again. But like that feedback is super valuable and insight for us, right? Even just knowing that the business exists, and who knows, like maybe next year will be our core business, maybe not, right? That happened in 2016. Also at the same time, I think we introduced the third level, the associate level. So we had ACE Director, ACE Pro, which we renamed afterwards. It was just called ACE back then. And then the ACE Associate. And again, it's like, this was just a thing where we said, look, like the goal should be to be part of an ACE program. It shouldn't be like there was this brief period when we introduced the two levels where everybody aspired had to be an ACE director because the second level was not good enough. And that's really not it, right? It's just like, look, there has to be a fair differentiation between the people that just have more time and less time. That doesn't mean the people who have more time are more valuable than the ones that have less time, or the other way around. Right? It's like, it's just life. It's, after all, it's still
no, but it's also influence, right? Like there has to be some sort, like if I say the name Deborah Lilly, 90% of the entire Oracle world will know who I'm talking about, right? Like the people who are ACE directors should be in that type of realm, right? I was at a hotel in my pajamas. I went down to get a banana, and this guy stopped me, and he's like, "I see your videos." I was gonna die, right? He's like, "You're Mia Urman. Can I take a selfie?" I'm like, I'm literally in my pajamas holding a banana. Like, can I go upstairs?
Exactly, right? And so, like, imagine if everybody's an ACE director still, right?
Right, that's the difference between ACE director. Like, they read your blogs, they know your face, they see your videos, right? And there is something, incredible to that, because like we said, it's people in the community who come and they say, but you guys now added a new level, right? Which is the ACE apprentice level. What was the thought process behind that, and how, and who do you expect to kind of fit into that level, right? We understand like beginner, medium contribution, and like we said, these kind of guru people, but where does the apprenticeship fit in?
Yeah, so so just very quickly, this makes sense then for the apprenticeship to finish off, right? One thing we did change as well along the course, which I haven't mentioned yet, is like, now you can get in with no longer having to have an ACE nominating you, right? This kind of also fell in 2000 and I think 16 it was, right? We basically opened it up, right? And we would look at your contributions and see what the person has done and whether that is basically on par or what we expect from an ACE associate, for example. And that is important also for the apprenticeship. So why did we kind of open up this only an ACE can nominate an ACE? Mostly because, like you can argue it goes in a couple of different areas, but mostly because like even an ACE director has only so much reach, and the world has gotten a lot bigger, right? And the Oracle usage has gotten a lot bigger. So we didn't want to necessarily just have like, yeah, here's this group of, 100, 200 people, all their
in
buddies.
Texas.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, the original idea was like, from what I understood, right, from what they told me, it's like, you get your friend in and your friend gets a friend in and so forth. But, at some point you will get to a level where not everybody's just of ACE quality or doesn't want to do it, right? It's like there's plenty of people who go like, I, have other hobbies and don't necessarily want to do it.
And so you want more global reach, right? You want articles in Spanish and Japanese and
exactly that,
German and whatever else, right? If everybody just brings their friends.
Diversification of it, exactly, right? And it's like, and even if somebody, if you, Mia, started out as like, working with Oracle technology, you shouldn't also have the, the luck, quite frankly, to meet an ACE at a conference or, somebody stumbles on your blog and leaves a comment and now you get into the ACE program. And here's a tiny little secret to that. Before I was Oracle, I was like, oh wow, ACE program is amazing. These people are amazing. I read a lot of ACE directors' blogs, right? Learned a lot of from them, and I never could get in because I didn't know anybody, and I didn't go to conferences, right? So like I didn't introduce this,
and now you're their leader,
right? I didn't introduce this opening of nomination thing. That was before my time. But I certainly have been on that receiving stick where I think, well, like there probably is people out there that are also good ACEs, but just don't have the means, right?
You see the value.
And then so we did that that's in place now. Anybody can technically, people can self-nominate now. They can just come and say, hey, I think I have what it takes to be an ACE. And like for any nomination, like whether it's from yourself or somebody else nominated you, we will evaluate what you have been doing, and we'll let you know whether you only get in if you know that you have what it takes to be an ACE, into the associate, pro, and director level. Now, coming to the apprentice, right? We said, well, and this is something we got a lot of feedback from, even quite a few ACEs actually, right? It's like the feedback was always more or less similar, right? They all were like, I have some great colleagues that know their stuff, they know the Oracle product inside out, but they don't really, know where to start with blogging or doing YouTube videos or whatever. They have no clue about this evangelism part. I don't have the time to teach them, right? It's like my day job is also busy. So basically, like at a bunch of ACEs, and as we then talked more about this, we found out more and more we're missing out on a lot of great people that would be great ACEs, but because of their lack that they don't know how to evangelize. And then we were like, well, gee, it's like we have all these great ACEs that are doing a fantastic job of evangelizing. And we even have quite a few product managers who have come out of the ACE program, ACE directors that we have recruited, like I have myself one on the team, that know how to evangelize. Like the evangelizing part should not be the hindrance to be an ACE, right? That is something we can teach. And that's really where this apprenticeship came out from. So an apprentice, as the name says, it's basically usually an apprenticeship is defined as something that has a time limit where you learn something, right? You go to a company or something, they give you the skills, and eventually you are meant to pick up the skills and stand on your own. And that is literally what the ACE apprentice and the apprenticeship is about. So those are, like ACEs in training, let's say. But the important thing is that
they come with the technical knowledge.
Exactly. So it's like you have to already be a tech expert. We're not here to teach you Oracle. And if you want to learn Oracle, there's Oracle University and many other courses out there where you can learn Oracle. So Oracle and others have these offerings to teach you to be a tech expert. But like if you want to be an ACE apprentice, we basically will teach you how to evangelize. And so if you were to say you are an Oracle expert, or the way how it goes with an apprentice is like you basically come in, you file in you register yourself as an apprentice. Right? The first thing we will look at is you have to have some credentials of your technical expertise. You have to prove to us that you're a technical expert. And that basically goes back to an Oracle University certification of recent time, right? Not something you did 20 years ago.
I think I have the Oracle Developer Suite certificate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and I mean, and even that was like an interesting discovery, right? It's like you really have to put this in because we have seen everything. It's kind of interesting when people come in.
So funny.
But you know, like you have to prove this, right? This is the first thing you have to do, and you have 30 days to do so, because you know, between you registering and actually getting around, you have to give some time frame. But you basically show us that you're an Oracle expert, and if you're not an Oracle expert, well, you know, thank you very much for registering, but you know, please go to Oracle University.
We'll see you in a little longer, right? We'll see you in a few years.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you know, at that stage, maybe even you picked up the technology and started blogging or podcasting, and you just come in as an associate, right? You can always come in as an associate, the normal nomination process, right?
Oh, okay.
But we haven't changed that at all. And you can really think, you know, the apprentice is an apprenticeship, or, you know, others like to call it an internship, right? It's like you come in, we try to teach you, right? And like the people just don't know where to start, right? It's like, hey, I'm completely new to this. Where do I start? What do I do? Right? So we have like videos and write-ups of like, you know, how do you blog? How do you do videos? How do you present? What should you say?
In today's day and age with ChatGPT, it's crazy.
Well, that is something really interesting altogether with blogging now. Yes, we have found out.
Like you literally could say, you know, write a blog on the following script that I created, and like,
yeah, and that's something. I mean, that like the whole blogging sphere has been disrupted by that, right? And like even like for us in the program, we're now having tools in place that will go through your blogs and detect whether it was AI generated or not.
Wow.
Right. And so like, or there's I mean, you know, like just like with AI, there's never 100% guarantee, but like if you run it through the tool, it will interrogate the blog from various different angles and give you a lower high likelihood, right? And,
oh, that's so funny.
And if it's a like high likelihood, and you know, like, you know, as I said, this is blogging altogether, right? It's like many people, I mean, everybody can now, just as you said, generate a blog, right? It doesn't matter what I could do it as a PM and toss it out on LinkedIn, right? And so could other people in the ACE program. And of course, also like the ACE apprentices. But, you know, that's something we take care of in general. But the apprentices, really the idea is they have a time limit, right? It's like the whole apprenticeship takes up to 7 months max.
Wow.
Like from beginning to finish, right? And again, it's an apprenticeship. And you have to go through these steps, and you have to learn, and you have to continuously submit, right? And the hope is that, you know, if you were to, for example, say, hey, I want to learn how to blog, that, you know, you go through the training material we have, and there's ACEs can be mentors to those people, right? Anybody can for mentorship, and some have, right? And really foster the, you know, the next generation, let's say, right? Like give people the tools.
They say, look for the replacement of yourself. That's what they
were saying. Exactly, yeah. And and you know, like if you don't do anything, or you know, fail to pick up the skills, you know, when the time is up, you will be disappearing again. We will thank you for your apprenticeship, and you know, you can come back another time, right?
I also saw something really interesting, that my friend is now a community ACE. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How did that come about?
Yeah. So as we said before, right, there's many different ways of contributing and giving to this Oracle community. And one thing we've also found is like, you know, there's also an element of like, hey, I may not be a techie, but I organize a meetup or a user group. I bring the techies together, right? And that is also helping the community overall.
Right.
As you said, right? It's like people meet at conference.
Evangelism.
Exactly. And so we thought, hey, you know, they also have the ACE spirit, right? I mean, the ACE spirit in essence is like you talk about Oracle technology, you're enthusiastic about Oracle technology, right? And well, there's lots of people out there that just tell us, yeah, and I'm sorry, I am not really a technology expert. I don't really know the technology inside out, but I love getting them together. I love organizing, you know, bringing these experts together and giving them a way to share their knowledge. And we thought, you know, that should also be covered under the, you know, it falls in the ACE spirit. And so those are Oracle community ACEs.
So I think it's a definite welcome thing to really acknowledge people who are evangelizing for Oracle, doing these community organization, sitting on the boards of directors, conference chairs, etc., but not necessarily, the deepest tech. I'm going to have to ask you to come back another time because we've had this whole amazing episode, but we didn't get to talk at all about your new role as developer VP of AI.
Yeah.
So for today, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for all this amazing insight into the Oracle ACE program. And thank you all for all you do for the Oracle ACEs. Like, it's fostered such an incredible community. We all can't wait to meet up and see each other at the events, especially now that you guys do this new ACE adventure. And take everybody on like a bonding tour, not only the dinner, but also this bonding activity before each event. It's really changed the way everybody relates to each other. So thank you and your amazing team, Oana, Cassandra, everybody who contributes so much. And thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.